Hello children, here we are again for another Open the Book Online. We're going to start straight away with our special Open the Book song, so get ready to sing along. Open the book, open the book.
Come on, take a look. It's fun to turn the page, find out what God's words say. So let's all open the book. Open the book. Open the book and see. Open the book. Open the book and see.
This wall is a very special wall, and we are going to learn more about it and about God's people in our Open the Book story today. Hooray! God's people can go home to Jerusalem after living in a strange land for many years. But oh dear, the walls of Jerusalem have fallen down. Everyone needs to learn to be builders and lay brick upon brick upon brick until the walls are high again. It sounds like very hard work to me. So let's hear how they got on as we open the book at the story called A Time to Build.
My people have learned their lesson.
God decided.
It's time for them to come home.
So God whispered in the ear of Cyrus, king of the country where God's people were slaves.
Send them home,
God said. So Cyrus did, and thousands of people returned to Jerusalem. There was a lot of work to do when they got there, rebuilding their houses so they had somewhere to live, rebuilding the temple so they had somewhere to worship God, rebuilding the walls around Jerusalem so they had somewhere to hide from their enemies. It was hard work. They had no end of problems. And for a long time it looked as if it would never be done. And then Cyrus died, and another king named Artaxerxes took his place. And God took the chance to help his people by whispering in the ear of a man who could get that king's attention. The man's name was Nehemiah. His job was to bring the king his wine each day, and to taste it first to see that no one had put any poison in it. The king trusted him very much, and was puzzled when Nehemiah arrived one day, cup in hand, with a sad frown on his face.
"What's the matter, Nehemiah?"
The king asked.
"Why do you look so sad?"
Nehemiah whispered a prayer before he answered.
Forgive me, Your Majesty.
Nehemiah begged.
I know it is my duty to smile in your presence, but I cannot. I have heard that my people are suffering in their homeland. The walls of Jerusalem are broken down, and I know that I could help if only I could go and join them. I know also that you have wood and stone, which would make their job so much easier. Please send me there with supplies to finish the job and bring an end to all my people's suffering."
King Artaxerxes thought long and hard.
"Yes, Nehemiah,
He answered,
you may go, but let me send some of my soldiers along to protect you on the way."
Nehemiah thanked the king. He thanked God too, and he set off on his long journey. When Nehemiah arrived, he found Jerusalem in a terrible state, but the people were pleased to see him.
Let's build up these walls,
he encouraged them.
for God is with us. He gave me courage to speak to the king. He persuaded the king to give us these supplies, and now God will help us finish the job.
The people cheered and set to work. It still wasn't easy. There were enemies to deal with. So sometimes they had to work with a hammer in one hand and a sword in the other. But finally they finished. The walls were built, their houses too, and they had even finished the temple where the people gathered to talk with God.
Forgive us for not listening to you.
They prayed.
We promise to do better in the future.
To live the way you told us when you gave us this land so long ago.
Thank you for giving us another chance and for bringing us home at last.
God's people realized that they had made a mistake by not listening to God. So they said they were sorry, and God gave them another chance to live in their homeland. So let's close our eyes and imagine how it might feel to come back home after such a long time. Now I'd like you to keep your eyes closed, and I'm going to say a prayer. If you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, thank you that your people got a second chance to come home and rebuild their city. Thank you that you always give us a second chance when we get things wrong. Amen. As usual, we have a second song to end Open the Book Online today. This one is called The Ballad of the Wall. A ballad is a sort of story set to music. The words of the ballad will be on the screen and we'll play it twice. So if you can, why not join in?
Let us now rise up and build gates and city wall with
Here comes the song for a second time. Phew, watching all that hammering, sawing and drilling has made me feel really tired. Unfortunately, we've now come to the end of today's Open the Book. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found it interesting and enjoyable. We'll be back soon with our final Open the Book story of this school term. A story called The Boy in the Temple.